Hello, everyone. It's me, Captain Blueberry Buckaroo, aka Lancer737, and today I'm going to be visiting everyone's Equestria that I possibly can. So, to start off things, if you'd seen the news that I talked about yesterday, I'd like to point out that the auctions for those MLP masks starts today, and I don't know why they're called auctions, to be honest with you, because it's just a legit e-store. But if you go to the place where you can buy those MLP masks that go over the normal mask you're supposed to wear, they have plenty more, and they do have a Princess Luna mask now. And if you use a special code that says 15 off together, go ahead and check out a post on Equestria Daily. I'm pretty sure they detail it more, but it'll give you 15% off whenever you get those masks. Now, let's get to visiting or being rejected more than likely because the game just doesn't like me to visit people's Equestrias. Derpy Knight, which is a cool name. Of course not. Oh, and I looked, and one of the people requesting me to visit their Equestria, again, the two separate other names it gave me to try to visit, they don't exist. And so I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they friended someone with the same friend code as me that's on a different server, and so it's not possible for me to visit them, and I'm very sorry about that. Okay. Dusty Cake, no, of course. Nurse Cookie. Don't forget to add Nurse Cookie. Their friend code is right next to their name. Oh, wow, this is like an amazing occurrence. Nurse Cookie. We get to visit them. And it's still winter where they are. Hi, Nurse Cookie. Happy Easter. So, let's check out your Equestria. You've cleared out quite a bit of Nightmare Moon's darkness. Made a near perfect square, but it's pretty close to a rectangle. Not exactly, but pretty close. Um, this looks very similar to another place I was at. So I'm wondering if the game is, again, glitched. Figures, right? So, let's see. They have the Future Castle from Canterlot. They got the stage right next to the hospital. Actually, I think what was different in the other one was there was the original stage from the second limited time campaign to exist. So, besides that, if I were to pick a favorite spot, it would probably have to be this section over here, close to where Applejack is, because I just love how cozy it is having that house all snowy, and it has all these various different rocks and trees, and it's on the outskirts of town. It looks really cool. It's my favorite one. So, Nurse Cookie, I wish you happy Easter and good luck in the campaign. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any other MLP news. The only thing I've seen on Equestria Daily is just advertisements for specific chats they'll be talking about, like different things that people feel like there should be or shouldn't be story elements for, like things within the series and the fandom itself. Okay, that's weird. Don't know why. Don't know why it's doing that with. It's acting. I'm guessing it just added a bunch more people to my list that weren't there before because the game is just not consistent in what it's loading and figures, right? Because there's no way I would have missed this many people. Oh boy, this is just awesome. It's weird too. I'm tempted to skip past them. No offense to those people because I know they need the hearts, but it takes a long time to get down the fringe list anyway, and then to stop to fix more hearts. Okay, it looks like it's not doing it anymore. Oh, well, I spoke too soon, of course. But I I just haven't really seen any more MLP news besides what I told you the other day. If there's anything you guys have noticed, go ahead and tell me down below that I have not mentioned. Let's see how long this takes. Hopefully I can get down here really fast, but it's besides fixing the hearts, the friends list doesn't feel like it wants to move. And I actually, when I booted it up, I actually thought maybe I wouldn't be able to do this today because it took a really long time to load up the friends list. And for a while, all it had was just Celestia and Cadence as the only friends on my list. So yeah, I just wasn't sure I'd be able to do this today or not. Not to be mean, but it almost seems like I really do have like so many friends it's beyond the norm for the programming. And if it were possible, maybe I should remove the ones that I can't visit. And I'm not trying to be mean, but this thing is like, it's doing a lot of really, really weird things. That or just have GameLoft fix it. Which that's probably not going to be something that can happen for a while because of things going on. Just give us a different kind of friends list. Make it so that it goes by number. Like have slot 1 is like for 160s and then 150s and 140s and so on. It froze there for a second. Just what we need. Just something easier. And it doesn't take 5,000 years to get through. Again, I like having this many friends. It's just how GameLoft organized it all is what's not good. It's all GameLoft's fault. That I really am pretty sure they never intended on anyone actually having this many friends. Nope. Look, if you look at just all the 74s I passed, I can guarantee you I have at least 20 to 30 friends that are just level 74. So I'm pretty sure I have at least 1,000 friends, to be honest with you. So this game probably was only meant to have like 30 or 40 people on the friends list before it started crashing. And I've probably said this 100 million times, but someone that I was friends with and used to talk to them a lot through YouTube that was following my channel, when I lost my account like for the second or third time, I got everything back. It's just the friends list wasn't what came back. I added them again. I was able to visit them, and then I got tons of people back because I told them I lost all my friends. And then all of a sudden the game wouldn't let me visit her anymore, and that was just really weird. That's why I'm thinking it's not really that we're on different servers. It's just we weren't meant to have this many friends, and so it glitches up everything in the friends list. I'm surprised it just doesn't kill my game, to be honest with you, like the whole game. I should probably knock on wood and hope that doesn't happen. That would just be absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm actually kind of wondering what we're going to get next campaign-wise. That's weird. Okay. Mrs. Cake. You know what? Maybe I should try Silver Knight. No. Well, at least I tried. Cloud Cookie. No. Sweetie Days. Of course not. Princess Pie. Oh, sorry. Prince Pie. Well, not really. Florist of Surreal. Okay. Can't go. Blossom's Music. Nope. Oh, I spoke too soon. We can visit Blossom's Music. Happy Easter, Blossom's Music. Let's see. They've activated the element of generosity. Not honesty, though. But what little space they have activated and what they've built in it looks very nice. Like how everything's blended with nature while still being a city. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to say my favorite spot is the hotel. The hotel is a pleasing item in itself, and then when you have it around a lot of things of nature, I think it just makes it look fantastic. Where I put mine and how I set it up, I feel like it's decent. A little bit less so now that I'm having to remove objects around it just so I can put more buildings in. But I felt like it was decent. There's been plenty of places I've gone where people have set up the hotel where I think it's better than what I did. Trixie is like parading around the town trying to advertise for a show, trying to steal the business from the local theater. That Trixie. So, Starlight Glimmers, admiring this beautiful rock in the sky. And there is a rock in the sky. She's admiring that too. Princess Twilight is dancing around. So this is a very nice place for the size that it is. And I believe they did a good job. Blossom Music, I wish you good luck in the campaign and happy Easter. It's kind of funny how quick I can go through this and then it's back to the actual friends list, and it takes another 5 years just to get to the next person. They really need a new system. So let's see. Is there any other news of anything that I've seen? Unfortunately, because of things going on with quarantine and stuff, a lot of the comic book pros are having to stop work on their comics. So that's going to be another reason why the season 10 comics are going to be delayed. Hopefully, not canceled. It is theoretical that could happen, not because Hasbro had anything to do with it, but all the comic businesses are doing really, really, really bad. And believe it or not, the best one right now is the one that makes the My Little Pony comics. But something horrendously bad happened with them. They recently lost the license to either Transformers or G.I. Joe, and that's really bad because that is a Hasbro product, and that can mess up a lot of things, especially if they are planning some kind of huge crossover. And the other businesses are doing so terrible, so you wouldn't think that they would just, allow, let's say, Marvel or DC to suddenly start doing G.I. Joe comics. That would be a big financial mistake considering how bad they're doing. I'm just going to be straight up front with you. A lot of people that don't deserve to be in Marvel and DC have taken over the writing and artist roles for most of the characters, and they're doing all the characters injustice. They're doing a terrible job. My favorite Marvel superhero, I've mentioned this lots of times, it's Miss Marvel, and now she's known as Captain Marvel. They have wrecked her horribly, both her heart and spirit, even her physical appearance. I'm just going to be upfront with you again. They have some kind of political thing going on where they don't like it when women characters they're built like, women characters, let alone attractive women characters. And that's very strange. I mean, if they want to do that with new characters, they can, and then they can build upon that with, the character's heart and soul itself. But they took her, they made her look like she's Pee Wee Herman, and it's the strangest thing. I mean, I'm talking about when they started doing this stuff, they kind of reverted it a little bit, but not completely. But what's even worse is her heart and soul is gone. Carol is an amazing character in the past. She was brave, strong, adventurous. She wanted to be a fighter pilot. She's like Rainbow Dash. You can think of the original Carol Danvers as a human Rainbow Dash. She's not as cocky, but she was cocky like her, and she was training to be a fighter pilot. And she has a really cute backstory behind her call sign, which is a name that you get involuntarily when you're a pilot. It usually is meant to make fun of you or embarrass you. There's very few pilots in real life, especially like in the Navy or Air Force, they get a call sign that they like. Like whenever you see a movie like Top Gun and they have like names like Maverick and Iceman and Slider, those names are very super uncommon. Goose, that's actually more common because it's not really a cool name, and it probably relates to an incident involving something kind of dumb or embarrassing for that person. Um, Carol is no exception. She got the name Hamburger, which sounds unassuming. What the heck? You have got to be kidding me. Gosh dang it. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix something first. And the music is malfunctioning a lot. So, that tells me that there's something major going on here, and it's not me that caused that because so many things are malfunctioning. Okay, getting back to what I was saying. Her call sign was Hamburger, which is unassuming. It's like hamburger. What's that supposed to mean? Well, the reason her name was Hamburger is because one of the first few times she flew in training, she had eaten a hamburger and then she got airsick and threw up a hamburger, and that's why she has that name. So, like, for an outsider, they'll just hear hamburger and like, well, okay. But like for people that flew her there, and herself, she'll always remember that she got that because she ate a hamburger before flying and then threw up. That's realistic. Like I said, very rarely do you ever get a cool name when you're a fighter pilot. The coolest one that I saw in real life, two of them, both of them F-14 United States Navy fighter pilots. One, his call sign was called Darth in reference to Darth Vader. That is really cool. The other one, his name was Viper. He became one of the administrative and teaching staff, like one of the main teachers of Top Gun. I think he also did that for the group that came out of Top Gun that's a hybrid of both aerial and air-to-ground combat training they had. The name is not as cool as Top Gun, but it essentially is still Top Gun. It just includes air-to-ground. He was a Vietnam, if not, he might have been Korean too, or Korean air vet, but he was extremely good. The only pilot that I know that was better than him, in my opinion, and he got a lot of awards for his flying skills. He is the greatest United States Navy F-14, if not just greatest American fighter pilot in the world. He was flying F-14s and he couldn't be stopped. And this goes back to, like I said, most people don't have cool call signs. His call sign was Bozo. Imagine that. The best fighter pilot in the world, his call sign is Bozo. But going back to Carol Danvers, she had a lot of character, and she was also sweet and romantic too. Like I'm about to say something blasphemous. People mostly liked it that Spider-Man dated Mary Jane. Well, I was happy with the one thing I was happy with the continuity change when he made a deal to save his grandma, which made it so he wasn't married to her or even knew her anymore, was that he went on a date with Carol Danvers, and it was a really cute date. And she's an amazing woman the way she was portrayed. Not anymore. She's extremely fascist now. Is willing to lock up and punish people for thought crimes or crimes that aren't real crimes because they weren't really committed, but you're going to be punished for it because it's possible that at some point you would have. They dramatically changed her character. She's horrible now. Very horrible. In fact, they just had a story arc where they just revealed that this whole time it was a clone. But because the writers themselves are not very good, I wouldn't be surprised if they unintentionally just have the real her start acting like the quote-unquote clone version of her now. It's terrible. And I've said this before, she's my favorite superhero of all superheroes. And she's my favorite Marvel superhero. But if you go by just Marvel characters, she's not my absolute favorite, but she's extremely close. My favorite is the Punisher. I mentioned this before. I also like Venom. I think I like Venom as much as her. I like Blade, but not quite as much as her. I love Hawkeye, not not as much as her, but he's really cool. I love Hawkeye. Um, Funny thing about him and me, um, I have a connection to archery. I used to be very decent at it, but the funny thing is, you know how you when you practice with things, you get better with it. Archery is the opposite for me. I don't know why, but when I first started doing archery, I was good, and then as years went by, I started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'm not going to use a bow and arrow anymore, but I do appreciate the skills. I am still pretty good, as far as I know. It's been a while for this, but I was extremely good with crossbows. I love crossbows. Um, let's see. It's not just her either. Like the Punisher, they they ruined him too, but not to the degree as her. They're ruining all the characters though. Um, About the only one that I like that wasn't ruined in some way would be Spider Woman. And I disagree with the criticism with her. It was an odd choice, but they made her pregnant, but keep on being a superhero. Thought that was an interesting character arc, twist, and development for her. And a lot of people didn't like it because they're like superheroes shouldn't be pregnant. And to a degree, I do agree with them. You shouldn't be fighting supervillains while you're pregnant, but she didn't actually do that. She was like on the sidelines giving other heroes advice while avoiding the conflict. There was another Marvel superhero at the same time, really, that what they made pregnant also, but she actually did, fight in the front line. That was dumb. um, but yeah, every one of them has gotten wrecked really bad, and DC is no better. My favorite DC superhero is a two-way tie. Actually, it's very complicated, but just in general, without thinking about it, and I'll probably go into it more. My favorite is a two-way tie between Power Girl, which she's almost like Captain America. I mean, she's almost like Miss Marvel, aka Captain Marvel. She's a little bit wilder, and so I don't like her quite as much. And I think Carol Danvers used to look way cooler than her. And technically, if she comes back, and it looks like they're trying to give her old art style back to some degree, she still will look cooler than her. But for the longest time, when all these bad people took over for Marvel, when let's just say if you go into the phase where suddenly she doesn't look like a woman at all and she looks like Pee Wee Herman, Power Girl trumps her in every single way. Um, I haven't seen them mess up Power Girl, but at the same time, I think they flat out have just, avoided her so that it's like there's no point. It doesn't really matter if they messed her up or not because she doesn't appear in anything. So what does it matter? Um, Green Lantern, he is awesome. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Let me rephrase it. Hal Jordan. Now, why I say it's complicated is because my favorite part of it is the lantern parts. And so then you have all these really cool alternate color lanterns, and then it gets to be hard to pick between them because there's people that are of lantern cores that are of my favorite colors, but they're not necessarily my favorite character. But at the same time, again, it's like they're more towards my favorite color and my favorite spectrum. So then it gets to be hard to pick between Hal Jordan. Not to say that green isn't cool. Green is pretty close to top of when it comes to my favorite colors. But then you have two groups like the Violet Lanterns and technically a Purple Lantern. It doesn't really exist, but that's also complicated. When you see them, they look even cooler. And actually, the leader of the Violet Lanterns is Hal Jordan's love interest, and she also looks really cool. But it's like, how do I pick from this? The violet ones and the purple ones, they look cooler and they do cooler things. And I actually like the characters a lot. Not necessarily more than Hal Jordan, but I like Jordan more, even though I don't like. Like I said, it's very complicated. It's hard for me to pick between which one I actually like more. because of that. Now, obviously, the other lanterns, I'm not going to have that problem with that I haven't mentioned. But going back to that, the purple lanterns, like I said, they don't really exist, but they kind of do. They're like a Black Ops Special Forces lantern group that uses purple energy, and their abilities work way differently. They swallow a disc that allows them to use lantern abilities, but they're all purple. And another unique thing about it is, I think, I'm not 100% sure about this when it comes to other lanterns, but I think the purple lanterns might be the only ones where the more discs that you swallow, the more powerful you are. Because I don't think if you're a Green Lantern, if you have a ring on each finger, I don't think you're suddenly multiplied in power. You would be in like capability, but this seems like a more unique thing towards the purple Black Ops people. They would absolutely be my most favorite one. They just looked really cool. And the Violet Lanterns, well, they look really cool, but and they're pretty close to looking purple. There's times where it does look purple, but that's also another problem with the Violet Lanterns. When they first came out, it was kind of cut and clear that it's purplish pink. You have all these new artists now that can't decide what shade it should be. When they first showed up on the TV show, they just flat out made them baby pink. I was like, no. Where'd the purple go? What have you done, you blasphemous fiends? And then you have other ones where it's like a mix between the two. And it looks like they're constantly making them pinker and pinker and pinker. Now, if you like Pinkie Pie or you like pink characters, that's fine. But if you like purple things, it's not fine. It's not fine. Okay. Now that we finally got back to where we left off, let's go to photo music. First try. It did it in the first try. Can you believe it? Okay. Photo music. Hello, photo music. I wish you happy Easter. They have activated the element of magic. It's been a while since I've seen anyone do that. Oh, and loyalty as well. In fact, they've activated them all. But apparently, they haven't beaten the Nightmare Moon story arc. So they haven't saved Princess Luna yet. I wish you lots of luck in that, and I'm hoping you're enjoying that story arc, because that is the original story arc in this, and it was awesome. There's some elements to it that I actually like more than TV show, because I feel like Nightmare Moon is more dangerous, or she's more aggressive, I should say, in the game version than she is in the TV show. Because in the game version, if you remember, and it's been a while for some people, she flat out destroyed all of Ponyville, and then she covered it in darkness, and you have to magically remove it. Nightmare Moon didn't do anything like that, and it's just nuts. Okay, so let's observe photo music's point de vue. Okay. I like that they have a dessert place. I think it's a dessert place. Actually, it's probably a tea place. Looking at the top symbol, but it's kind of cool that they have a tea place and a theater right next to the hotel. And wheat mill, Amethyst Star, always great to see her. And you got a concert hall at Rainbow Dash's house. Excellent. It's very organized. Trixie's place. I haven't noticed Trixie, though. She's probably indoors looking at scripts and coming up with new tricks to do for the audiences to wow them. Lucky Clover. Lucky I got him. So, if I were to pick a favorite spot, that favorite spot would probably have to be everything that's on screen. I just love the mix mashing of all the different buildings. even though they look like they shouldn't complement each other. I love the character it adds, especially to this part of town. And again, it's mixed a little bit with nature, not quite as much as I normally like, but it still is, and it just looks very pleasing. So, photo music. I wish you lots of luck and happy day. And I think this is the last one I'll do for today. I am very sorry about that. If this had not malfunctioned, I would be doing more. But anyway, I'm wishing you all good luck in the campaign. You have a little bit more than a day left, and I want you to take it easy and stay safe.